So it hasn't warmed up much. Still at minus 30. I actually just turned on the propane heater, so I'm really happy that it's working. You can see the, and I say that because I had issues on some, when it first turned cold, but there was a bunch of water trapped in the regulator that froze when it got really cold, so I think it was just in there because the hose was stored loose. It was actually, anyway, I think there's water got in the hose, and then I hooked it up to the tank and it was still in the regulator. So I'm finding in this really cold weather you have to treat the stove differently. It's more of a challenge getting a good draft going. Might have been saying that earlier in one of the other videos. It's ringing a bell. We were talking about the windows being shut. But I mean, this place isn't that airtight. But one of the things I'm noticing is when it's just down to a few coals, or not a few, but you know, down to coals, you gotta leave the door wide open, and you can hear it crackling there. You gotta be selective of the pieces of wood you put on it too. I went and got some of that, really dry cedar that I harvested. I'm gonna have to chop some more of that up. Might be too cold to do that today though. But yeah, you just leave the door open until the smoke starts to come out the top of it, which I'm surprised it isn't already. But it's working. You can hear it crackling. And what is it? It's 66, 18 degrees. I'm sitting in here in my t-shirt and PJs. I had to put on my hiking boots and some thick winter socks though, because the floor is cold. This is raised up. It's actually kind of cantilevered. It's warmer over on this side, probably because it's close to the stove and gets some sun. But about halfway over, it starts getting more cantilevered out. I did skirt the cabin, but I may have to put in some extra insulation under there. Oh, it's too bad it's going to be so cold. I've got a face mask. I might try to brave it. Certainly won't put TJ through that though. He wouldn't last a minute. His paws would be frostbit. Oh, it's really taking off now. Look at that. Get me in. And there's still no smoke coming out. It's helping that the flames at the back of the stove. Oh, this is so cool. There's a, I don't know if you can see it, there's a baffle up there, or a plate, so that, yeah, it's pretty simple actually, just a flat plate at an angle so that the flame has to kind of go around it. That way you're not going to get a huge flame just flying straight up the chimney. This is a good thing that I bought here, this cast iron grate. It makes things a lot easier. You can see that it's sucking air in underneath and through the vents, the grate. It's working great. Oh God, that was corny. And yeah, usually if it's like minus 10 or less, there'd already be smoke pouring out of this, and I'd shut the door and or just leave it open a crack and it would just take off. But I've done that a couple of times now, having gotten it to this point, maybe a little less than this, and did that, and then I end up putting it out. But I think there's a learning curve. I think I have to get the glare. I think I have to just chocker full of a lot more wood than I usually would to really get her going. So I keep stuff under there. There's a heat shield. So I think I'll go get some. Put that jacket on first. And that should help by having this window open a crack. It's beveled or has an angle, top and bottom, so that when you can you see that? Oh, I'm too low. When you undo that and raise it up, you get a nice cool breeze here, and along the bottom, yeah, you can see the frost here, and it builds up on the bottom and ices up, and you can't get the window closed all the way. So now it's closed all the way because you just get a constant breeze through there. I've still got the heater running. If I use it when I'm going away, I take the sound bar off. I'm just monitoring it right now. I'm kind of curious. I don't think I'd ever leave it. If I wasn't here, I should put some kind of a little piece of metal there. We got the fire going good. I'm discovering that I used to find this when I had the stove in my garage, that I'd sometimes have to leave the door ajar on top of the draft wide open and the flue wide open. So it seems it's the same now. I don't know, maybe once I get a good fire going, I can throttle it down without it going out, because I'm going to burn through wood like crazy. But I don't know, maybe that's what I have to do. You know, it's cold when TJ's covered up his nose. He's used to 25 or 30. Yeah, we're getting there. It's a cold day. It's hard when it doesn't really warm up. It's pretty hard to get your raised cabin better. Yeah, look, that pipe's not even really heating up. Although it's a double layered pipe. It's pretty cool. The inner pipe is the chimney, and the outer pipe that surrounds it, there's an air cavity between the two, and that's where the air gets sucked in to combust the propane burner. So it starts sucking it in, and it warms it up as it comes through, pre-warms the air. And this grate is cast iron, so it helps with the cycling of the heater, you know, because it actually has a thermostat. See it built in there. So that's what sold me on this, that it doesn't take electricity, and it had an adjustable thermostat. So I've seen those ones the van people use, and yeah, they're you know, liquid gas like gasoline or diesel. They're noisy and they need electricity because they have a little 12-volt fan on them, and they just have a high and a low setting, and I don't want that. Beautiful sky. Maybe I'll wait till after lunch and dare to go out. I think the wind would have to die down. I'll have to go get my other jacket that's more of a windbreaker, because all I've got here is I'll wear a t-shirt, flannel shirt, my hoodie, and my jacket, which is a lined quilted jacket, you know, quilted lining. But the wind goes through it. I do have a vest here too, really thick vest. Anyway,